Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Okay, so are you ready to learn about After Effects? So today we're going to start up with our After Effects lesson, and then we're going to basically talk about all the basics of After Effects. We're also going to cover up some other tools here, but we are focusing specially on After Effects, and we'll cover up the other tools later on as well. So now let me start up with the After Effects program. I'm using After Effects CC 2014 right here. You might have different versions, but don't worry about it. Like the workflow is same in most of the softwares. So let me open up with the software here. Okay, starting. Okay, it's loading. Okay, there it is. Okay, just before I start up with the After Effects software, I'm gonna make sure that my computer runs in full power, because this is a very power hungry application right here. I'm going to go over to my power options. From my start menu, I'm gonna make sure that my computer is in high performance mode, because that is really important while you work with After Effects. So since After Effects is a heavy file, you can see it takes a while to load, but okay, so I'm going to speed this up for you. And there we go, we got all the things necessary. Okay, it's still loading. As you can see, my mouse cursor, it shows the loading sign. Okay, now this is fully loaded, and as you can see, the welcome screen is here, and you can use some of the helps and supports and everything else is here to help you get started. Anyways, I do not need that. We are going to start up using the After Effects, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to make sure that the window is maximized, and before we start, we're going to make sure we work in a standard layout. So to make sure that you are in the standard layout as well, I'm going to make sure you go to workspace right here at the top corner right here that it says standard. I'm going to make sure that it is on standard, and sometimes you might notice that the standard setting is not always the same. You might have everything messed up all around here. As you can see, I can actually mess up the software quite easily. So to make sure that everything stays where it is and you work with the same layout, make sure that you are on standard, and then choose reset standard right over here at the end. So you just press yes, and there you got the right you got the standard settings right here. So before we start up with animating, we are going to cover up some basic things here, like size and frame rate, file saving a file, importing a file, and so forth, and about keyframes, which is the key of the animation. So as you can see here in the left side there, we can see the project window, right? This is where we collect all the files. This is where we collect all the files here. It's gonna be collected all right over here. This is the composition window, and this is where you'll make most of the animations. You'll see the animation right here. And then here is where you select the effects from. Here are the play and pause buttons to preview the animation. And on the bottom side, you can actually see the main timeline of the animation, which we use to navigate the time back and forth. So now, without further ado, let's just start the animation. So as we approach to the new digital age, the standard quality for today's world is SD. So we have to specially start up with a new composition. We have to start up from this area right here. So we gotta make a new file, a new canvas for the animation where we can start animating. As you can see on the left here, on the left below the project window, you can actually see some three little icons here at the bottom. We're not going to use the other three right now. We are going to use this one right here, and as you can hover on it, it says, you can actually clearly see that it says create a new composition. Let me hover on that again. Okay, create a new composition. Let me click on that, and you can see that the new composition window actually pops up right here. And now you can see the thing called preset. Let us not worry about the other stuff right now. Let us work with preset right here. This lets you set the standard of the quality of video you want to workflow or you want to animate in After Effects. So you can see at the bottom like the default that one is selected is SDTV 1080 29.97. Okay, so now let us talk about the video formats that we are going to use. Usually I go for SDTV 1080 25, which stands for APAL video, APAL SD video. So if you're in US or Japan, then you might want to use this, because Japan and US are NTSC zones. This is the normal standard quality NTSC. This is for the standard TV, while this is for the SDTV. I'm basically going to choose 29.97 if I'm in the US or Japan, but everywhere else is 25. That stands for PAL. Okay, let's just keep it that way for now. And once I choose that, you can see you don't have to worry about anything else. After Effects does that for you. And in the background color, it is black. Let it be black. If you want to change the color, then do it later. Now, anyways, I can set up the composition name. Let me name it, because a naming habit is very important for animation. It makes the things less complicated in the future. So I'm going to name it as my first animation. Okay, let me say my first AE animation. Let me press OK. And before we start, let us save. We should always remember to save. So let me go to File. Let me save that. Okay, let me just save it. And I'm going to go over to my files. Let's say I'm going to create a new folder. My first project in After Effects. Okay, go inside and name this as follows. Let me just say my first animation. Alright, okay, let me save that out. And once I save that out, as you can see, I can actually see the name on the left hand corner right here. Okay, so that's it for the project setting. Now we are going to move on to some animation, and then we'll save it as a video. Okay, as you can see at the top, there's the toolbar. You can see at the top right here, you got a lot of toolbar right here. We're not going to use all of it right now. We're going to start up with the text tool. That's quite simple. We go to the text first. Okay, let us type something. Okay, let us type the name of the channel, which is, what's the name of the channel? Tutor. Okay, no, Tutor Tube. Okay, that's it. Then once I click on the text and once I finish typing, I'm going to go back onto my selection tool so that I can resize the video. Now as you can see this is not resizing properly. I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo that. I'm going to hold Shift so that I can resize this in a very proportionate manner. Once I hold Shift, you can actually see that this moves proportionally. If I leave out the shift, then you can see that this text distorts a lot. But when I press shift, this actually helps me resize the text in a proportionate manner. Okay, so let me position the text right over here. Now I want my first animation to be like this. I want this text to move from this position to this position in about 2 seconds. Alright, so this position to this position in about 2 seconds. So this is my starting position right here. So now in order to start the animation, I have to set something called a keyframe. A keyframe is like an anchor point or a milestone for where you can set the positions for the animation. Anyways, I'm just going to go over here and show it to you how it's done. Now, as you can see, once I created this text, a layer appeared at the bottom which says Tutor Tube, which is the exact same text I typed. This is known as an After Effects layer. And as you can see, and this is what 2 seconds is like. Okay, so I want 2 seconds of animation. I want this animation to start from here and end it at 2 seconds. So I'm going to go over here at the left corner, which seems like a little triangle over here. So I'm going to click that, and it expands the setting of this text. So you can go under the transform menu, and you can see a lot of options. Now, since dragging this from top to bottom is dragging the position, I'm going to position have a keyframe on the position right here. So this is my starting frame, and I want this text to be here at the end of 2 seconds. So I'm going to have my title over here. I'm going to hold this little stopwatch stopwatch icon, click on this before the position. Alright, so this is my starting position, this is my timeline cursor. I'm going to have it at the beginning. I'm going to hold the position. I'm going to click this icon right here, and as I click it, you can see that a little milestone has been placed right over here at the beginning. Alright, okay, so now at the end of 2 seconds, where do I want my video? I want it right over here. So I'm simply going to, let's say, drag this, and as you can see, as I drag this, I have a line over here. I can even press shift to have a straight line. Okay, and as I drag this, you can actually see that another keyframe is created right over here, and it's created at the exact same spot where I actually created this, where I placed this cursor. So I'm going to go over to the beginning, and I'm going to play this. And to play this, I can simply press the spacebar key or press this play button right over here. I'm going to play this. As you can see, this loads up, and now the first time you play it, it does not play at a normal speed, but the second time you play it, it plays at a very normal speed. That's because this processes the animation before it actually plays up. And as you can see, the in-between frames are created itself, and I have a very, very simple animation right here. Okay, so you can do this with a lot of text. If you want the animation to continue further, let me say I want the animation to go back, then I can simply drag the video back up, and as you can see, it goes down, right, then it goes back up, right? So I can have another animation right here. I can also add in other layers. So I'm going to deselect this, click on an empty spot right here, click here, and let's just say I'm going to type, okay, After Effects. So I'm going to hold shift. Okay, sorry for that. Might be a tricky sometimes. Okay, so hold shift and drag it. Okay, not that big. I'm going to keep it over here. So I'm going to play this. I just press the space bar and over to the 1 second. When I want this animation to just start from 1 second, from this space to this space. So I'm going to go over here. Let me go inside. Let me go over to the transform menu. Let's go over to click on position. Let's go over to the right, and then drag. Let me just press shift and drag this. So as you can see, now another animation is created. Tutor YouTube goes down, After Effects goes towards the right. So that's what my animation is. I got it till 4.5 seconds. I don't want the video to be this long. So as you can see, I can navigate the timeline. I can drag and increase the zoom level, or drag in to decrease the zoom level. So I can drag it out, squeeze this in a bit. Let me squeeze this in. Let me squeeze this in about 4.5 seconds, because that's the only part of the animation I want. So let me right click, and I got the option right over here called trim comp to work area. Let me just click that. That's it. Okay, so I got the amount of length that I want. So let me play that and let's see what happens. Okay, so that's the animation I want. So let me save a video file of this. And to save a video file, it's quite simple. Select the composition. This is my first After Effects animation. Go to File. Go to Export. Okay, I do want to save this file. Okay, if I save this file, then it saves an After Effects version of the file. It saves an AEP version. So if I were to go over to File, let me press Export. Add to Render Queue. Let me press that. And as you can see, I have a render queue window open right here. So now at the end there's the output module called lossless. Alright, so that's lossless right over here. And after I go to the render queue, I want to change the format on which I'm going to save this. By default, this is an AVI. I want a lower size. So I'm going to go over here at the output module, click on this little thing called lossless, little word, click on it, and I got this option right here. So we are not going to go deep into the formatting settings right now. We're going to go over to the format, and then let me just choose QuickTime, and let's go to format options, and here choose S.264. Okay, that's it. That's what I want to do. If you want to output the audio file, I don't really have the audio file right now, so I can just turn off the audio, press OK, and at the end you can see output to my first After Effects animation. Let me click on that to choose where I want to save it. I want to save it to the same folder where I have my After Effects file. So I have my After Effects file. Okay, what was the name of the folder? I forgot. Okay, the name of the file was my first project in After Effects. Okay, there I have a spelling error right there. Okay, I'm going to correct that later on. So double click, save it, and then press render. See the magic? See the magic of the process. Alright, so that's the bounce effect. I know it doesn't look that great. We're going to move on to some greater stuff in upcoming videos. Anyways, so now let us go over to that folder. Let me see what the video looks like now. So I'm going to go over to, okay, oh my god, I really need to arrange the files on my PC, isn't it? Okay, so my first animation project in After Effects, this is it. Now I like to play my videos using VLC. Let me open that out, and there you go. That's the video file. So hope you learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. I will be sure to upload some more tutorials in upcoming days, and then I hope you like your videos. I'll make sure that I'll start up a series of these tutorials, and I will continue from this portion right on here. So later in the lesson we'll continue with some more advanced stuff. This is the basics. Hope you practice it, and if you want to get in touch with me, you can just send me a message, or like just leave a comment below to ask something. I'll be sure to check them out and reply to you. Thank you very much for your time, and hit the subscribe button or give a like if you enjoyed the video.